Deep within the dense woods of our world lie mysterious secrets waiting to be explored.
When we looked up, it was squatted down with its left hand holding onto the tree. It didn't have any emotion on its face. It was just a stone look on its face. It was the hairy man. I mean, that's all we knew what to call it.
From legendary creatures lurking in the shadows to forgotten remains hidden by time.
As we got further into the forest, the feelings kind of changed. And then we stumbled upon something really bad. I knew instantly what it was, and I knew it wasn't good.
Join us to discover the horrific jungles of our planet.
No.
It's going to unfold. It's been unfolding for months. It's going to continue to unfold.
One September evening, a worker was driving home from the oil field in Canada. He had his dash cam on just in case of any mishap. As he passed a patch of forest by the roadside, something odd caught his eye, and it was also captured on the camera screen. At first, it was hard to make out, but there was a dark figure standing by the trees. It looked like it was holding something. The figure was huge and covered in what appeared to be thick fur. When he looked at the footage closely, it looked just like Bigfoot. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. The figure stood there for a while, then disappeared into the forest. Could it really be Bigfoot? Bigfoot Shelter.
What's it doing?
Shh. Be still.
This next footage also comes from the woods near Crescent Falls in Alberta, Canada. Here, a hiker came across a strange shelter made of sticks and branches. He set up a trail camera to see what might be living there. When he checked the live feed, he couldn't believe what he saw. And you wouldn't either. The camera captured a large, upright figure moving through the woods. This creature seems very similar to a legendary being known to the local native community as Cuac Cotton. And FYI, it's a close relative of the Bigfoot. Yes, you heard that right. This whole family is spread across Canada. Unlike the usual Bigfoot stories, this one seemed to feed on rotting flesh, similar to a bear or a crow. Juvenile Bigfoot.
What is it?
Australia is known for its strange reptiles, but if recent stories are to be believed, Bigfoot has made an appearance there as well. One December evening, a woman was walking down a quiet street when she noticed something clinging to a tree. If you look closely, it is a large, black, furry shape. She moved closer and realized it wasn't a shadow or a known animal. The creature looked like a juvenile Bigfoot. The furry figure seemed to be holding onto the tree trunk tightly, as if it were afraid of falling or didn't want to come down. She quickly took some photos with her phone. She probably had the same thing in her mind. What was this creature, and where did it come from? Giant Snowman. A tourist in the Pyrenees Mountains of northeastern Spain had an unexpected encounter while skiing down the slopes. There, they noticed a strange figure in the snow. The footage showed what looked like a large, hairy creature, often called the abominable snowman, the Yeti. The way the figure moved, it did not seem human, because humans cannot move with such ease in snow, and they are not this huge. The ski resort was informed of the sighting, and they began looking into the incident. As the video circulated, many wondered if this could finally be evidence of the legendary Yeti. It has been captured in different remote areas of the world. So what do you think? Could it really be real? Glowing eyes. On September 16, 2014, a researcher left a mix of fruit and meat in a secluded area of Oklahoma, hoping to draw in some local wildlife. But he ended up attracting a lot more than just the wildlife. As night fell, he scanned the area with his camera and noticed a pair of glowing eyes reflecting back at him. The eyes seemed to follow his movements. And just then, he decided to do something really brave. He decided to approach the mysterious figure. He moved towards the glowing eyes and then started running after it. After a while, the mysterious creature just disappeared. It was like it vanished in thin air. Forest mystery.
No, 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 no.
Somewhere in the woods of Australia, a young boy spotted a strange cryptid creature chasing him. He started running as fast as he could, feeling an unsettling presence right behind him. The sounds of snapping branches and rustling leaves seemed to be growing closer. Suddenly, he stumbled over a branch and fell hard. He quickly glanced back and saw a pale, shadowy figure in the shadows. Meanwhile, his friend, who was sitting in a nearby car, was anxiously shouting his name, urging him to hurry.
No, 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 no.
Oh, hurry up! Hurry up, come on! The friend couldn't see exactly what was chasing him, but the panic in his voice made the danger feel even more real. Startled creeper.
The heck is that?
Oh my God.
In a remote part of Oregon, a man who lived near the woods began hearing strange noises coming from the forest behind his home. After several days of this, he decided to grab his camera one night and investigate the source. Believe me, he was not ready. He listened carefully. In the distance, a figure with large, glowing eyes appeared. It was partially hidden in the bushes. The eyes reflected the light from his camera, giving them a strange glow. The figure seemed to be kneeling, so it was hard to guess what it really was. Dark entity.
What the hell is that?
James Jones was working on his homemade indie horror movie and had set up a prop ritual circle based on his research. After rehearsals, he and his friends called it a day. But later, when James went back to the circle, he saw a figure standing exactly where the ritual circle was. He found it strange because this figure wasn't there before. Weird, right? But that's not all. The next day, right before sundown, he returned to the spot, and the figure was gone. They checked the area, but could not find anything related to the creature. How did it appear there? Did someone perform the ritual behind their back? Forest alien. While exploring the rainforest for a documentary, Alex was enjoying the beautiful scenery, capturing every detail with his camera. As he filmed, out of the dense trees, a strange alien suddenly appeared. Standing there was a tall, thin alien. The creature didn't seem alarmed or aggressive. It simply observed Alex. Could this really be an alien? What was it doing here? Was it friendly? Or did it have other intentions? Man, I've got so many questions! Creepy ritual.
Dude.
In Florida, two friends decided to check out an old, abandoned park after hearing spooky stories about it. People claimed the park was left behind because of some creepy, supernatural events. They headed there one night to see if the rumors were true. As they explored, one friend discovered a strange ritual pattern drawn in a dark corner. There were really odd symbols, and suddenly, both of them began hearing weird noises which seemed to be coming from everywhere. They ran out of the park as fast as they could. You have to agree with me here that there are some places that are better left alone. Dogman. The Dogman has long been a part of Canadian folklore, but recently it has become more than just a legend. In the dense woods of Canada, a shepherd was busy gathering his flock of sheep. As he did, something behind a tree caught his eye. It was a strange figure intently watching the sheep. It seemed like it was ready to pounce. The shepherd felt a chill of fear and cautiously approached the creature. To his shock, he realized it was a dog-like creature, but it was standing upright like a man. The shepherd quickly gathered his sheep and moved away from the woods. Nightwalker. One night, two friends, Samir and Ravi, were riding their bikes down a quiet road in India, returning home after a long day. As they rode, the headlights of Samir's bike suddenly caught something strange up ahead. They slowed down to get a better look and saw a peculiar figure walking down the road. It looked human-like, but also walked like it wasn't a human. The figure moved steadily, as if it was unaffected by the light from the bikes or the men behind. It was as if this mysterious Nightwalker was lost in its own world. Was it even alive? Pale Crawler. Car cam video was shot in Orlando, Florida. When a car suddenly stops, everyone inside gets quiet, sensing something's not right. Then, out of the grass in front that's lit by the car's headlights, a creature starts crawling toward them. The footage doesn't look like special effects. It seems real, though it could be someone in a costume. The creature is pale in color. What makes it even stranger is that the creature looks like some kind of humanoid that might have injured its foot and now has to crawl. None of the people in the car wanted to stick around to figure it out, so the driver quickly put the car in reverse and sped away. Lost Tribe. We have mentioned everything from ghosts to lost planes, and now it's time to go even deeper into the wildlife. Two wildlife enthusiasts were trekking through the forests of Sri Lanka when they found a remote tribe they hadn't expected to find. The explorers were surprised by the tribe's wild appearance. One of the explorers had some food in the bag. A member from the tribe came and snatched it from his hand while the others were watching. The members of the tribe were wildly dressed. It looked like they were wearing furry things all over their bodies. Now, I have no idea which tribe they belong to. Maybe it's a lost tribe yet to be discovered by the modern world. Hobbit People. A group of friends in New Zealand decided to explore a dense forest. As they went deeper into the woods, they spotted something unusual in the distance. It looked like a small, human-like figure moving between the trees. They approached cautiously, and as they went even nearer, they realized it wasn't a figment of their imagination. It actually appeared to be a hobbit-like creature. The friends wondered if they had stumbled upon a hidden place where hobbits might actually exist. Or could it be the shooting area for the Lord of the Rings? We will never know. Running Humanoid.
Wait a second. I think I see a... Someone? I thought I seen a big buck or something.
In this next video, one night while driving along a secluded road surrounded by tall grass, Jake and Emily experienced something really spooky and unexpected. Suddenly, a strange figure emerged from the long grass and ran toward their car. It was pale, walked on two legs, and resembled the Skinwalker. Even though it was at a distance, it still looked huge. The creature looked directly at them before quickly disappearing back into the tall grass. Forest Flame. Nepal is known for its beauty and its legends. While wandering through a forest, a person came across a strange glowing light. At first glance, it looked like a fire because of its unusual brightness. The glow was steady. It didn't grow or fade. The smoke around it seemed odd. It was definitely not like normal smoke. It was lighter and almost ethereal. It seemed as if something had fallen from the sky, landing among the trees. This fluorescent light didn't burn anything, and there was no smell of smoke. How weird, right? Could it be the mother flame from the anime One Piece? Humanoid in the woods. This next video comes from Toronto, where a man went for a morning walk. As he wandered near a forested area, he decided to film the lovely landscape with his phone. Back at home, he watched the video and something caught his eye. In the background, among the trees, he saw a large humanoid shape. It seemed to be standing still and was partly hidden by the trees. The figure was huge and unlike anything he'd ever seen. It was far off, making it hard to get a clear view, but it definitely stood out from the natural surroundings. Demonic Shadow. Shadows are not meant to act on their own, right? Well, think again. A man was hiking through the thick Amazon when he suddenly felt a presence. As he turned around, a dark, shadowy figure emerged from the brush and quickly approached them. The figure attached itself to him, clinging tightly and refusing to let go. How terrifying, right? Just imagine how scared he must have been. The person struggles to free himself, but after a while, he manages to break free and get away. Sigbin. Dave from Chicago was out in his backyard when he spotted a bizarre creature he'd never seen before. As he took a closer look, he remembered stories about a mythical beast called a Sigbin. Even though it's a mythical creature from Philippine folklore, the Sigbin looked like a mix between a goat and a dog. It had big, floppy ears that could flap like hands and a long, whip-like tail. What really stood out was how it walked backward with its head low between its legs. The story said the Sigbin came out at night to suck blood from shadows and had a terrible smell. It was also said to be linked to witchcraft and dark magic. Bigfoot Skull. In the rainforests of Indonesia, a fossil hunter had been searching for ancient secrets for years. One day in 2021, he finally came across a hidden cave whose entrance was concealed by mossy boulders. There, he found a massive skull which was partially embedded in rock. It had a heavy brow ridge, deep eye sockets, and a broad nose. If you think for a second, these features don't really match any known human or primate. The size was huge as well. As he carefully unearthed more, he found that it also had a powerful jaw and long teeth. The researcher instantly thought to himself, it looked just like the legendary Bigfoot. However, even now, there are no definite answers. Scary encounter. Ever wondered what mysteries could be lurking in the depths of a rainforest? Well, look no further. A group of explorers wandering through lush, dense greenery suddenly catch sight of something strange. It almost looks like an alien with its unusual shape and color. They move in for a closer look. Some think it might be a rare monkey or even a ghost, but the creature stays hidden. Its strange appearance and ability to seamlessly blend with the environment make it hard to identify, leaving the explorers and us wondering what exactly they stumbled upon. String Symbiote. Not every day do you come across something straight out of a sci-fi movie in your own backyard. While working one afternoon, Mark noticed something odd among his plants. A strange creature covered in string-like threads caught his eye. It was almost like something out of a Spider-Man movie. The creature had long, thread-like strands that twisted and shifted in unusual patterns. Mark grabbed his phone to snap some pictures, hoping to identify it later. The creature's bizarre, wiggling movements made it even more mysterious, as it seemed to react to its surroundings. Growing skull.
Just come across this skull.
Now, this isn't about a child's Halloween prank. On Saturday, January 27th, Tom decided to explore a new trail during his morning walk. As he walked around tall trees, he found something truly surprising. There was a skull in the branches of a pine tree. It was an odd sight. Was the skull growing out of the tree somehow, or had someone deliberately put it there? He took a closer look, trying to figure out if it was part of a bizarre prank or a strange natural occurrence. Unfortunately, there's no explanation for this either. Pristine Eggs. In South Africa, a local tribe has a unique method for collecting parrot eggs that's quite different from what you might expect. When the tribe needs to gather these eggs, they don't just climb trees. Instead, they start by breaking open the trunk of a tree where the parrots have nested. Once they've cracked open the tree trunk, they carefully retrieve the eggs from the nests inside. The tribe members then move the eggs to a new tree trunk. This ensures the eggs are in a safer location, away from potential threats. crawling vampire. Next up, at a zoo in Florida, a group of vampire bats were seen showing their unique hunting skills. As night falls and the zoo becomes quiet, these bats come out from their hiding spots. They don't fly directly to their prey, but instead they crawl close, using their special sensors to detect the warmth of blood beneath the skin. Once they find the perfect spot, they act. Their sharp teeth make a tiny incision in the skin, and they start to feed. They drink like there's no tomorrow, because for some, there really isn't. Thrashing creature. One evening in Minnesota, a man was shocked by strange noises coming from his backyard. Now, if he knew any better, he would not go searching for the source, but people from Minnesota are quite daring. So, of course, he decided to check it out. As he approached the source of the sound, he saw a creature thrashing around near the trees. It was unlike anything he'd ever seen. It was moving around and making odd noises. The creature seemed to be struggling, almost as if it were tangled or caught in something. Chupacabra, is that you? Flaming buds. In a small village in India, there lived a woman named Priya who had a fascinating plant in her garden that's commonly known as flaming buds. This plant had a unique characteristic that always amazed her and the neighbors. When the buds of the plant were young, they were a pure white and could actually catch fire. Priya loved showing this strange trick to her friends. She would carefully light a bud to watch it burn brightly for a moment. It was like a little bit of magic right in her backyard. As the buds matured, they changed color to a deep brown and lost their flammability. While they were no longer fiery, they still looked pretty cool. Abandoned house.
Wow. Wow.
While hiking through a dense forest in Canada, Alex stumbled upon something large, an abandoned house hidden among the trees. It looked like an old, small mall, complete with wide hallways and storefronts. It was a house with an unusual design. Alex decided to explore this strange place. The inside was filled with trash and debris, looking like it had been neglected for years. Old furniture, broken glass, and mysterious objects lay scattered around. Alex went even further, and there he found rooms that seemed oddly out of place. It was as if the house had been designed to resemble a mini shopping center. Forest Plain.
In the middle of nowhere, and here lies an abandoned German aircraft.
Moving on, this group of friends were camping in an unknown forest. One bright afternoon, they headed out to gather firewood for their evening campfire. As they walked deeper into the forest, they came across a plane. Now you must be thinking, what's a plane doing in this remote area? Clearly, it crashed and was long forgotten. The plane was old and covered in dirt and overgrown plants, looking like it had been abandoned for decades. They carefully explored the wreckage, trying to figure out how it ended up in such a remote spot. Do you know anything about it? Emerging creature. Moving on, in this video, while checking out the pond, something odd popped up from the water. At first glance, it looked like a tiny Bigfoot with a human-like face. The person recording moved closer to see what it was. To his surprise, it turned out to be a three-toed sloth. Sloths are famous for their slow, deliberate movements. They move so slowly on land that it feels like watching a clock tick. But this little sloth was swimming in the pond, and it was moving faster than I'd ever seen one move on land. They use their strong claws to drag themselves around when they're on trees, so I guess they have an easier time in water. Geez, I learn something new every day. Orpendek. We're back in Indonesia, where a farmer was cultivating his crops when he spotted something strange. A flash of red fur caught his attention. He approached to see it, and that's when he found a big creature with reddish fur standing upright. This was an Orpendek, a creature known to the locals for over a century. The Orpendek, often described by local tribes, villagers, and even some Western visitors, is a small, ground-dwelling primate. It is usually 4 feet tall and has short fur. The farmer seemed to have fallen in its spell because he could not move at all. After a while, the creature just disappeared. Eerie Farmhouse. In 2019, a group of urban explorers decided to investigate an abandoned farmhouse in Cornwall. This place wasn't just any old house, though. It was once owned by a notorious occultist named Alistair Blackwood. The team, armed with flashlights and cameras, entered the old, decaying building. As they explored, they stumbled upon strange symbols drawn on the floor and old bowls arranged in a circle. Each bowl had a cryptic writing inside, in a language they couldn't decipher. The explorers exchanged nervous glances, realizing they had discovered remnants of an old ritual. Even though they were afraid, they carefully documented their findings. Invisible sculptures. In this remote Scottish forest, some strange, almost magical figures are present. At first, these strange shapes might seem like they're from another world. These intriguing figures are really creepy, and seeing them for the first time is like you've walked through the gates of hell. However, you would be surprised to know that they are actually created by an artist named Sam Hill. Sam wanted to make sculptures that blend into the forest. The statues are designed to camouflage perfectly with the surroundings, making them look mystical. Fascinating, right? Hidden Temple. Deep in the Andes Mountains of Peru, a hidden temple has been discovered by archaeologists. The temple was buried for over 3,000 years and belongs to the Chavan culture, which existed before the Incas. The team found an entrance leading to the central rooms of the temple. They've already explored the southern corridor, which is quite narrow and low. And so far, they've found 2 bowls and some interesting artwork in the temple's corridors. The lead archaeologist mentioned that the temple was probably sealed off long ago due to safety issues. The structure was unstable, which might have caused it to be abandoned and left untouched for centuries. Booby Traps. Utah may be boring, but every year a strange story comes out from there that puts the state back on the map. Like this video from 2021. These friends were on a trail when they stumbled upon several homemade traps made out of rocks and sharp sticks. These traps were pretty heavy, around 9 kilograms each, and could have caused serious injuries. My question is, who put these traps there and what were they hoping to catch? Were these for the hikers or some other creature? Fortunately, a Forest Service officer was patrolling the area too and spotted a tripwire on the ground, leading him to the traps before anyone could get hurt. Later, it was discovered that the traps had been set by locals aiming to catch animals. Abandoned building. 2 architects got approval to renovate an old, abandoned building within the cliffs of Langshan, China. This impressive building looked like a tunnel attaching 2 mountains. It had been left untouched since 2016 due to various complications. To be honest, it feels like it hasn't been touched in like 200 years. The architects decided to explore the site. As they neared the structure, they were amazed by its height and the effort it must have taken to build it right into the rocky cliffs. The building, despite its age, held a certain charm and mystery. Old machinery and papers were scattered about. Dogs Rescue. A guy enjoying the view from a rock in Arizona spotted what he initially thought might be a coyote, but then he heard a soft whine and he immediately realized it was a dog. Surprisingly, there were actually 2 dogs stranded and in distress. He decided to climb over to rescue the dogs. He carefully took out some food, offering it to the smaller dog, who cautiously took it. The larger dog stayed close, and he picked up the smaller dog, and the larger one followed. Once they were all safely down, he noticed just how thin and weak the dogs looked. Clearly, they had been stuck there for some time. Burning tree. Next up, I have something that you probably have never seen before. A man was exploring some picturesque forest trails in Sonoma County when he came across a tree that seemed to be burning from the inside out. It looked like there was a fire or maybe some strange phenomenon happening deep inside the trunk. The most curious part was that the flames were contained within the tree, not spreading to the outside. It almost felt like something magical was going on inside. Do you think this was a natural event or something more mysterious? The flames flickered inside the trunk while the outside remained untouched. Wish Tree. Deep in an Australian forest, there's this tree that has the power to grant wishes. Tom from Sydney had a wish he dearly hoped to see fulfilled, so he decided to find out if the tales were true. He went into the forest, navigating through the thick trees and underbrush. After some time, he found it. Its bark was covered with coins. Tom realized he had found the wish tree. He pulled a coin from his pocket and carefully placed it among the others on the tree. Now, we're not sure whether the wish came true or not, but a tree with coins is truly an amazing sight. Supportless Tree. In the dense forests of New Zealand, a team of loggers were busy cutting and collecting tree trunks. As they went further into the woods, though, they encountered something unusual. A tree seemed to be floating in midair. There was no visible support, and it appeared to defy gravity, standing tall with no roots touching the ground. They walked around the tree searching for wires or any hidden support structures, but found nothing. The tree really was floating, as if held up by an unseen force. Do you believe this? Weirdly, I do. Open discussion. In a gripping video from Ghana, a heart-pounding scene unfolds. Several men are seen climbing to a tree, not in search of fruit, but to save their lives. As the camera pans down, a group of wild predators and a giant rhino can be seen gathered below, poised to attack. It seems they are waiting for the men to descend so they can pounce. The intense standoff raises questions about what led to this dangerous situation and how the men are managing to hold on to the tree for so long. We can only hope for their safety and wish them the best of luck in this perilous moment. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.